So Dan and Dave over at Wild Dream Podcast, they actually they teased this on our YouTube. They put in a comment that when we mentioned Wild Dream on the Keeper review, they actually mentioned us coincidentally on their Keeper review. So I'm actually going to play it. If you guys aren't familiar, Wild Dream Podcast, they are part of our pod roll. But one of the reasons why I love them is they keep me in stitches. Like they do little comedic bits. They're also filmmakers. They did a short that like Red and I talked about, but they're constantly cracking jokes, and I love that about them. So here we go.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm Oz Bad Perk out. Guys, we're very excited to announce Osgood Perkins is going to be directing Hereditary 2. Hereditary. And he's also going to be directing we're very excited about this. He's going to be doing
Trump imitation.
Short Legs. It's going to be a prequel about, it's going to be a prequel.
Osgood Perkins is making A Loud Place. It's very similar.
A Loud Place. It's very Long Legs. Short Legs is going to be a prequel about Nicolas Cage. It's just about the actor. It's about Nicolas Cage, and we're very excited about this. I'm out. I'm out on Osgood Perkins.
He's making the next Jordan Peele sequel. It's called Y'all.
It's called Stay In.
He's doing late fall as a sequel to Midsommar.
Oh my God. Worth it.
Guys, I give this a no out of 10. Actually, I'm not gonna give this movie a rating. I'm gonna borrow from our friends at Watch Skip Plus. And we are giving this one a fat ass skip.
A rock
hard, girthy, dummy, thick skip. Do they phrase it like that?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually refer to it in terms of girth.
The girth. What does this get on the girth scale? What do you think about that, Cupcake?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this?
This is a pencil thin watch.
You can borrow that if you want, guys.
Feel free to clip this if you want, and put this in your next episode if you like it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
A girthy watch.
I'm
the
the only human being on the planet Earth that liked Keeper. I'm the only human. Nobody else that I know who watched it liked it. Nobody, and I fucking really did. But I'm a weird fucker. That's hilarious. Those guys are really funny. Yeah, I need to watch.
Oh my God, those guys are hysterical. I absolutely love them.
His Trump was pretty good, man.
Really good, right? And they guested on John Wick 4. I love those guys. They have like a Twitch or whatever. Like, they're also really cute. So, anyway, here we go.
They see you.
Hey, you want to watch some TV or something?
Skip it. Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Nothing but foul language and toilet humor.
I'm disgusted and repulsed and I can't look away.
I need these things! I need these things! Tell me, do you wanna go? Where it's coming on the color line. Oh, no way, Jose. This just in, go to hell!
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Hello, friends and listeners. You got a new episode of Watch Skip Plus. We are a movie review podcast. My name is Jose, also known as Cupcake, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mike the Wildebeest, and we review new theatrical films. We're on the tail end of season 3. We introduced the idea of seasons because we're actually going to be taking a break soon for the holidays to be with our families and just to sort of like reset. It's going to be a quick 3 weeks. I don't know. But nonetheless, how are you doing, Mike? I know you, in addition to promoting American beer, you had a comedy show last night, right? Were you?
Yeah, we saw
Cat
Williams.
Minimum?
Yeah, it was fun. We saw Cat Williams, who I've been a fan of since Pimp Chronicles, like 20 years ago. Never seen him live, and my wife was bugging me about it. Like, oh, he's coming to the Delta Center. It was a great show. He brings a whole road show of guests. Like, there was like 10 people that popped up for 2.5 hours. Lady of Rage was there. Little Mo, who does some R&B songs. Red Grant was kind of the host. He's really funny. He got a big gap in his tooth and funny giggly laugh. Mark Curry from Hanging with Mr. Cooper, very funny stand-up comedian. Tommy Davidson, who opened up for him, and he was probably my favorite.
Love him.
I loved him, and Cat just brought it down. He was hilarious, so funny. He did not hold back. The man is not afraid to like break down taboos and tell you what the fuck's really happening.
Speaking of taboos, although I don't know, that's going to be one of my comments about this film. What are we reviewing this week?
Well, we are reviewing another romantic comedy from A24. I think if you go back to all of our episodes, they've probably been the studio that we've reviewed the most, maybe.
Probably, but they're also known, A24 is really known for like neon horror, because
more like genre stuff, like
Sure.
extreme indie or genre things get the theatrical releases usually from them, but they've dabbled into some high class comedies, romantic comedies that feel more independent, and this is one of those. Yes, Eternity, from a brand new film director that I really don't know. I guess he's done a couple things, but you're going to tell me more about him. I'm talking mainly about The Materialists, comparing it to this being the two big rom-coms from the year that they've released.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Although I don't know that I call The Materialist a rom-com.
I guess it
certainly was like
rom-com, but
I would call it romantic horror, is what I would call with Dakota Johnson. Okay. Anyway, yes, this is a new director, David Freyne, and color me surprised. I gassed up an interview with him, and I was like, "What is that? Is that Irish?" It is. In fact, he is from County Kildare, Ireland. He started in production design. So not many features. 2017's The Cured, starring the then Ellen Page, who is now Elliot Page. That was a horror film. But then he would do 2020's Dating Amber. That is a romantic comedy. And he also wrote those films as well. Looks like he's going from the horror back to romantic comedy with this film. Are you familiar with any of Freyne's other works? Have you seen those?
I haven't, but I've seen the Cursed one or whatever, like on AMC Plus, and I've almost pushed play several times, but I haven't. The other one I hear is like a coming out gay comedy, but I'm not push play on either. I've heard of them, but
really?
I've not pushed play.
Our writers are Pat Cunane, also known as Patrick Cunane, and David Freyne. So with the "and," it means that Freyne came in and polished up the draft, versus an ampersand, which means they're a writing team. As I was watching this movie, I was like, I guarantee you this was on the blacklist, and it was. So this made the 2022 blacklist. For those of you friends and viewers that don't know, or young viewers, every year there is a list that comes out of scripts that are well regarded or either feel that they can't be produced because they're so amazing and very well liked. So this made the 2022 blacklist. All Cunane has done is pretty much a staff writer for Designated Survivor, the ABC series with Kiefer Sutherland. Did you ever watch that show?
No. I got a question. Have there ever been any blacklists that have been big, huge hits? I always hear about these, and they're like a Shane Black movie that flopped, or this movie that flopped.
No. There's been a ton. We'll have
Moonlight. I think Moonlight was a blacklist.
Yeah. I'll you know what? Maybe on the Sundance episode we'll go through and figure out.
Yeah, that'll be fun to go through those.
There you go. Our music is by David Fleming, probably best known for scoring Blue Planet 2. People love those miniseries, right? But it's like Nat Geo documentary. He's known for his TV scores. He scored Prime's Mr. and Mrs. Smith, recently The Last of Us, and then movie-wise, Americana with Fun Bags, and Alto Nights with Robert De Niro, and then James Gunn's Superman. Our DP is Ruari, which I think is pronounced Rory. He's also Irish, so it's spelled like Ruairi. It's probably Rory O'Brien, part of the Irish Society of Cinematographers and the British Society of Cinematographers. He's done mainly British television, Scottish, Irish television. So The Fall with Jamie Dornan and Gillian Anderson, he shot the first season of that. Line of Duty, which is fantastic. The Prime original Flack with Anna Paquin. And then recently he shot Sea Fever, which has been on my watch list. It's a horror film, an Irish horror film. And then the recent series, We Were the Lucky Ones on Hulu, and then Small Town Big Story. Any comments on or below the line before we move to the cast?
Well,
okay.
All new, exciting. I love when we hit an indie. You know it.
All right, for cast. Elisabeth Olsen, Miles Teller are our leads here. And there's a third I'll get to. Olsen and Teller are also executive producers on this. So let's start with Elisabeth Olsen. What do you think of when we say Elisabeth Olsen?
I love her, and I think she's the most talented of the Olsen family, of the three that I know.
So she has the famous siblings, the twins, right?
Yeah, she has the
But
famous
what's her
siblings.
most popular role? When I say Elisabeth Olsen, I know you're going to say one movie because of Sundance.
Yeah,
but who do we think of her as?
Martha, Mary, Marlene, whatever it's called.
Yep.
That's the one I go
Martha
to
May, Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. It's really
That's
the one
the
that
one.
put her on the map, right?
It's the one. I saw it at Sundance, and I was like, wow. And then she's also in another film that aired in the midnights that same year called Silent House, which is not 100% effective, but it's very fun as far as a found footage-y type of thing.
But of course, Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch, is who we think about, how everybody would really know Elisabeth Olsen. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is weird. It's weird. She comes in and out of trade articles where she's like, oh, MCU didn't give me much chance to be creative. But then there's another article that comes out where she's like, I would really love to do Scarlet Witch again in another MCU. So I'm kind of like, which is it, sister friend? But she does transcend certain genres. So you mentioned Silent House, that's horror. She's done drama before, Taylor Sheridan's Wind River, Ingrid Goes West.
Yeah,
so she's done that kind of like dark comedy.
I love those
and
so
then
much.
she's had really successful streaming shows, Sorry for Your Loss, Love and Death. I love her for the remake of Old Boy, Spike Lee. I know people crap on that film, but I really liked her in that. And then I should also say a friend of mine, Tricia Sawyer, is her personal makeup artist, and she did the makeup on this. Any other thoughts on Elisabeth Olsen?
I'm a big fan. I really am. Yeah. She transcends Ingrid Goes West. Like, people don't talk about her performance in that. She's so good as that vapid fake Instagram celebrity. My God. And then her like rookie character in Wind River, which was filmed here in Utah. My wife did some posts on that. But she's so good when she can really just have a role to chew on and just really fit the shoes of the role. And God damn, if she didn't, we're going to talk about what she did here, but
Yeah, totally. Next up, Miles Teller, gorgeous, super talented. You'll notice the scars. This is from a devastating car accident as a teen for him.
They've really popped. They did not hide those in makeup, I guess for a reason, right?
I'm a huge Miles Teller fan, by the way, folks, because I just think he's one of the most gorgeous men on the planet, even with that weird monster thumb that he has. I don't know if you all have seen it. Have you not seen it? It's a little.
I never really noticed the scars until this movie. It almost like they accentuated them to be a part of his character, just being an older, nice guy. I don't know.
Well, I think as he's gotten older, they become more obvious. But if you look at one of his first movies, Rabbit Hole, you can definitely see them in Footloose, the crazy best friend, who we love, who can't dance. And then he almost got pigeonholed in these sort of coming of age films. So Project X, That Awkward Moment, 21 and Under, which is one of my favorite films where I took notice of him. And it's not just because it opens with a shot of his butt and he's walking completely naked, barefoot, wearing only a sock. I fucking love that movie. But he's worked with some great directors, even Joe Kosinski. I'm going to put that in there. Really great performances. Damien Chazelle's Whiplash, Refn's Amazon Prime show, Too Young to Die. And then, of course, that Top Gun Maverick. But anyway, what do you think about Miles Teller? You love him?
Yeah. I've actually seen him at Sundance for The Spectacular Now and Whiplash. He was there for both the screenings.
There you go.
He seems like a very down-to-earth guy. You know, a lot of times there's an arrogance when they're doing Q&As, and Miles did not have that in either of those films. So, yeah, I'm a big fan. I hope that he gets to do more. I feel like he's kind of fallen away since Maverick. It was like he did that little bit in Top Gun Maverick, and then poof, now he's back. So I'm glad.
Yeah, now it's all fucking Glenn Powell and Lewis Pullman. But yeah, Miles Teller needs to ride that wave. Speaking of riding the wave, we've got Callum Turner. He's a British model turned actor. Think like a sexier Michael Phelps because he's got the doofy ears, the tall, lean physique, the pale skin. He's gorgeous. He starred in British television shows, Glue, War and Peace. He's actually naked in Glue, so please check that out, folks. John Borman cast him in the sequel to Hope and Glory, Queen and Country. That's really what put him on the map. Stateside, I think people will know him from Jeremy Saulnier's Green Room, Assassin's Creed. He's been in the Fantastic Beasts franchise. Recently, George Clooney's Boys in the Boat. He's really coming up, and I love Callum Turner as an actor. I know you have a comment because he was in a very controversial Sundance film called Atropia, which still has not seen a release.
He's actually really quite good in it, even if there's a miscast relationship between him and Shawkat that doesn't really work. But
yeah,
he's good.
I know you did not like that film.
No, I did not. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It'll eventually land somewhere streaming.
And it won like the prize at Sundance, didn't it?
There's a lot of great movies at Sundance that go nowhere. I'm still waiting for Fairyland to get a proper release. I think it just got dropped.
Oh my God, me too. It's on VOD now.
And then there's nothing, just poof. I hate that.
And then rounding out our cast, we've got Da'Vine Joy Randolph, Oscar and BAFTA winner for 2023's The Holdovers, directed by Alexander Payne. She was a revelation in that. So good.
She's so good, man. She
is good.
She walks onto that set and she walks into that fucking frame and it's like, I'm here, bitches. And you're like,
yeah,
we see you, queen.
Oh my God. She has such a presence. First of all, Temple Theater musical degree, master's from Yale School of Drama. Here's a fun fact, folks. She originated the Broadway musical role of Oda Mae Brown in Ghost the Musical. Did you know this? And she actually she actually got a Tony nomination for this. Okay. That's what really put her on the map. But she does a lot of voiceover. So Trolls, Madagascar, Puss in Boots, does a lot of TV. Recently, obviously, Only Murders in the Building. I hear she's amazing in this. I have not watched this show. I need to. But recently did Shadow Force and Bride Hard, both of which were not successful at the box office. Shadow Force looked miserable, as did Bride Hard. I think we're all kind of down on Rebel Wilson lately. Excuse me, but your thoughts on Da'Vine Joy Randolph? Sorry, that's my mushroom coffee.
No, I think she's a revelation. I really do think that she's just wonderful. She comes on and she demands attention every time she's on, and she knows when to be quiet, like she was in The Holdovers. She knows when to choose scenery, like she does here, and she is the comic relief. Her, and I'm sure you're going to mention her cohort.
Well, I was just really quickly. You'll also spy Betty Buckley. We know her, Carrie's coach. Unfortunately, out of all of the deaths, it was like, no, not her, okay? Grisabella in Cats. Betty Buckley is absolutely amazing. Betty's been doing this weird thing where she's in horror films. Remember that Obnoxious Imaginary, directed by that hot guy that I'm in love with?
That you love, yes.
Yeah. And then Barry Primus they both play the older versions of Elisabeth Olsen and Miles Teller. Barry Primus was a fixture of like 60s, 70s, and 80s television. I love this quote by him. I could easily have become a criminal if I hadn't decided to become an actor. I love that. Can that like be my biography title? I don't know.
He has a face to be a criminal, you know?
He does. He's got that kind of like, we gave him an offer. Anyway, actually, fun fact, he was considered for the role that Robert Duvall ultimately got in The Godfather. Strange, right? And then the other guy I'm going to mention is John Early. He is a comedian and indie actor. He's also known for voiceover work, Secret Life of Pets, Big City Greens, Great North. He's probably best known for Search Party, that television show with Alia Shawkat. This is weird how they run in those same circles, right? Netflix is The Character, and weirdly, like Da'Vine, he played a detective on a television show, so he was in Apple TV's The After Party. All right, so here we go. Spoiler-free thoughts on Eternity, the A24 romantic comedy drama, and we're going to get into, this odd sort of twist in terms of a storyline. So what are your spoiler-free thoughts on Eternity?
It is an absolute charming, wonderful breath of fresh air, again, from A24. I didn't know what to expect from this. Turner, like we said, he did The Gorge and really hasn't done anything else in like 3 years. I love Olsen when she's on, and I was not familiar with the writing directing team, but I got totally and completely wrapped up in this fun, high concept comedy. I mean, we don't really go into concepts, go into plot much, but just to give you an idea of what it's about, basically we follow, in the very beginning, we see a couple in their 80s. The woman talks about having cancer, and they're going to a great grandchild's gender reveal party. And
where people statistically get killed and
people die at these things, they say. Foreshadowing, really good. Well, boom, stuff happens. They both end up dying, and we follow who I think is kind of the main character, who is Miles. Basically, it's the old man at his favorite form in kind of a spirit world in between before they go on to their eternity. So that's the concept. He gets there, and then guess who else is there as the bartender? His wife's dead husband, who died in the Korean War, which they make a lot of jokes about. And how it wasn't really a war worth being killed at.
So weird. It wasn't even one of the big wars. Anyway, yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. And yeah, it's this absolutely, utterly charming, high concepts, post-existence comedy. I mean, we haven't seen anything quite like this since Defend Your Life, is what I thought of as soon as I walked out.
I thought of that too, Defending Your Life.
Yes,
Albert
would
Brooks.
make a perfect double feature. If you're one of the guys at the Alamo and you want to make a fun double feature in the future, that would be it. It's absolutely charming. It builds its world, not perfectly. I still have some questions about who runs this like in between spirit world, which is kind of like almost like a bazaar for people selling their eternities to the recently departed.
Marketplace was insane.
Yes, it's this weird marketplace, but it's so clever. It's so funny. It has this vibe of something from the 60s or 70s, kind of almost like an old school slapstick screwball comedy is what it feels like at times. Something you would have saw Hugh Grant in, It has this fucking, I can say it over and over again, charm that wraps you in a warm coat that you just don't want to let go. Even when it has one too many endings, you're still just holding on as the movie continues to wrap you in warmth. I loved it. A24, please keep doing this shit. Between this and Materialist, these both are battling to get in my top 10s of the year. So much fun, just so warm, so sweet. I would have loved to have showed this to my grandmother. The way that Olsen and Miles are able to play 80-year-olds in their younger selves, it's so wonderful. It's so perfect. There's no question that they're playing 80-year-olds. And especially like when Olsen comes in with this accent and you could tell she was a feisty widow. And God, I loved that. I just loved that.
Strangely, that accent floats in and out, actually.
But it's there enough that you could tell it's when she's in a mood. And then it's
totally
less when she's not in her mood. But I dug the shit out of this. I did not know what to expect. I went in pretty much blind. I've heard from Jared, who saw it at one of those Monday mystery movies. And I hope this makes more money. I hope it gets more attention. I know it's not making a ton of money, but it's probably a $10 to $20 million movie. They're probably $30 million in. If we can get them through that, we can help them to make more movies like this.
Yes.
This is what I want to see in the theaters. I want more of this kind of stuff.
What'd you think of Callum Turner?
Oh, I thought he had just looked the look. So charming. God, I can't say that word enough. He's a cutie patootie, right? And you feel for him waiting 67 years for his love, waiting in the freaking, like, basically terminal of a bus station is what you can kind of think of it as their spirit world. You feel for his character and you understand all of the plights and the situation that our lead is in. Who do I choose? The man who I wanted to create a life with who died too young, or the one who I did create a life with?
Right.
So, yeah,
that's a tough choice too.
It's a hard watch for me.
Girthy? Is it a girthy watch?
Thick, girthy watch.
Yes.
Wild
thick eggplant watch. Okay, so I did end up liking this movie, but being onboarded to this concept, I thought I was actually going to not like this because you keep mentioning the word charming, and I just found it almost too cute for its own good. Okay, like way too cute for its own good. Now the thing is that for me, I want to talk to these writers because I want to be like, y'all grew up watching Beetlejuice and you decided to expand the Beetlejuice waiting room. I mean, this film even has like the overworked receptionist. And I was like, okay, they've just expanded that into a concept for the romantic triangle, right? And actually, what this movie ended up feeling more like was there is a Prime Video series called Upload. I don't know if you've ever seen this.
I almost did, but I have not. I might have started the first episode, but
so it's actually really cute, but too cute for its own good as well. But in Upload, basically what happens is very attractive cast. You die and you get uploaded into this virtual world where you live on, but then they're still stuck in their feelings. They're like, I've moved on, but there's this and that. And then maybe he has a romance with somebody. That's what this movie felt like. It felt like Beetlejuice, the waiting room, afterlife. I mean, they talk about, an afterlife consultant, which is like, Juno, your caseworker, and they're like, Juno who? Who's Juno, right? And I'm like, okay, too much. And there's too many rules. And I think that when an audience has to figure out the rules of the place, just like Miles Teller is figuring it out, it's too much. And then
the rules aren't good. They're not like really making any sense. But
they're also not fleshed out. And then like
not.
any super saccharine sweet thing, you can break the rules. Okay.
Yeah.
But color me surprised that Olsen and Teller are just so wonderful. I think that Miles does the old man in a young body better than Elisabeth Olsen. Olsen, I think you have to warm up to her, and she rises to that level as the film goes on.
Yeah.
But again, color me surprised. The emotions, there is a concept, a museum concept. We'll talk about that in the spoiler thing that just crushed me, absolutely crushed me. And so bottom line, I got on board with this and I totally fell in love with this. You are correct. It ended twice. And in fact, I got this little like, what are we doing here? And so the one thing that I would say is, because we talk about this in the age of streaming, this probably would have been better as an 8-episode limited series. I think we could have grown with these characters and had a major impact. But as a film itself, it took me a little bit to warm up to it. I cannot stress how much Da'Vine Joy Randolph is amazing in this. She's
funny.
So amazing. The gay guy also, John Early, is amazing as well. I'm doing the question mark.
They're miscast, that whole like relationship fling that they supposedly have. That's
weird. That I think could probably been fleshed out better in a series, but honestly, it's super cute, almost saccharine sweet, super cute. But I did get into this idea of this afterlife, and there's even some. They even poked fun. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a MAGA world in one of the worlds, and we'll get to that in the spoiler.
The no men's world, and it was like no room beyond the capacity.
Oh my God! Or my favorite Eternity world was the whole like, did you ever want to live in Cabaret? Just didn't like the Nazis, and it says like now 100% Nazi
free.
So some of it is good and entertaining, but like I said, it took a while to warm me up because I was just like, okay, it's too cute. It's too much.
It does take a while to get used to that world. And I eventually just was like, okay, there's no real solid rules here. They're just telling you things and you're just going with the flow. And you can, because it's so fucking expertly acted by the 5 main leads that are on the whole time. And they are just all so great.
Turner surprised the fuck out of me because I was kind of like, okay, he's just a unconventional pretty face. But yeah, he was really, really good.
Yeah.
I think you only get to see like stocking feet of his. There's a there's a there's a peak of Miles Teller barefoot, holding a baby, but you do get to see Elisabeth Olsen's feet. So anyway, credit to the writing and the actors. They really sold this for me,
Yeah.
and I would either love to see a sequel or maybe a television show of this. It's a girthy watch for me. And
It's
the
old school
performance are
cinema.
just, some reviews have said that it feels like an old studio
It
film.
does. It feels
I
like
guess
something
I didn't-
Doris Day would be in.
I guess I didn't really get that because of the Beetlejuice upload kind of thing, but
See, I was totally,
that.
I didn't catch any of the Beetlejuice. I've never seen Upload, but I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it. That's
Yeah.
actually pretty damn brilliant. I was
I
thinking
mean-
about like the movie Terminal with Tom Hanks is what I was thinking.
Oh
when I
yeah,
saw
the
that. It was-
terminal. Right. Yeah. So we are going to head into spoiler territory now. So if you've not seen Eternity, we are going to spoil it in 3, 2, 1. So this Eternity, it's basically a way station, and it is like these hotels that are stretched out to like eternity. And what happens is you all get herded in. I love how a lot of them are in hospital gowns, which also kind of made me sad. I was like, oh, look at all the people in the hospital gowns,
And they're
right?
covering their butts.
Yeah. So they get off the train, they're brought into this place. They have to wait for what's called an AC, an afterlife consultant. And the afterlife consultants are tasked with helping you choose your eternity, because what happens is you appear as yourself when you are your happiest. I love that. I absolutely love that. And so people are appearing sometimes in their older form. There's a woman, a neighbor that shows up, and Miles Teller is like, why are you like at your current age? And she's like, because I was an undercover lesbian and that's when I was the happiest. I went on this trip and I fell in love with this girl and like I was like secret lesbian or whatever. But then when you pick the eternity, the rules are this. There's a marketplace of all these worlds you can go to. So there's like, MAGA world, there's like no man world, there's like bromance world, which I was kind of like, that sounds good. I don't know. So there's a lot of fun looking at all that stuff in the background as well. But once you choose the eternity, you cannot go back. So that's the other thing. And so Miles Teller is like, I'm going to wait around for her. And then we come to find out that this first husband is also there, which, by the way, he dies looking at the picture and he doesn't recognize him as the bartender. I'm like, okay, who wrote that?
Yeah, that's the last thing you saw, bro.
Come on now. Some of the writing fails in that respect, and also with all the rules. So there's one other rule that we get, which they will end up breaking, which is there are people who try to escape their eternities.
Go through the red door.
Go through the red door or the exits. And every now and then there are these people that come running into the, whatever. And they're like, oh, arrest him or whatever. And so basically, if you break the rules, you go to the void. And so the other thing that I kind of liked about this screenplay, and it's only kind of like thrown in there, is that there really is no heaven or hell.
Yeah.
You just choose this eternity and that's it. And I kind of like that it was an agnostic sort of purgatory. They don't really go into religions or anything like that.
I keep thinking they're going to talk about it because they say, yeah, my boss, Frank, and Frank's boss, Kevin. You're just waiting for them to say God or Jesus, and they don't.
It's so insane. And they're like, and then they talk to somebody above their heads, but like nobody knows who they are, right?
Yeah, there's never a mention of God or Jesus or Peter or Mark or Abraham or any like religious name. It's just this
I kind of
really
like
funny.
that.
I
kind of like that. Oh, and then the other thing is you can wait, but you have to be put to work. So there's kind of like this servitude kind of thing.
That was a weird, I didn't quite understand how that worked. Like you had to choose, if you made it through the 7 days and didn't pick, you could go move in the basement and then make a decision to start working there. And so you get this lavish like hotel room while you're waiting to choose your eternity. And there's all these like pamphlets, which I think is hysterical. But if you choose to work and not have an eternity, you have to go to the basement and you're basically in these god awful studio apartments with like wood paneling walls. It was a nightmare for me. I was like, no, like a Roach Motel. It looked awful.
Yeah, it was disgusting. So the crux of the story is that obviously it's this triangle, right? So the first husband goes to war and he dies. So she doesn't know what that life would be like.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously with Miles Teller, she set up this life. And so I think what's interesting and what can be fun about this movie is that it really does stir conversation about, in this eternity, would you want to be with the person you spent the rest of your life with, or try the other missed opportunity, right? And so it's this kind of metaphor for life. We make these decisions, we make choices. And I think that's an important thing about the screenplay, is that Callum Turner makes the choice to wait around for 67 years. And then when things kind of don't go his way, he gets a little pissed off about it. But that's what life is, right? We make these choices, and you can either mire yourself in regret or what could have been, or you move on like Elisabeth Olsen did. So let's talk about the two endings. And this is where I ended up actually liking the fact that they took a swing. So she ends up choosing the eternity with Callum Turner.
After she got a little trial, they get a little trial. He's a mountain guy. And of course, Teller's a
beach guy. Teller's a beach guy. Right. Which, by the way, that beach was not all it was cracked up to be. And the hammer toes, oh my God. Talk about horror. Anyway, so she actually chooses to go to Mountain World, which, why would you go to Mountain World? I'm sorry, no. And then we get treated to these fun scenes of them like hiking and doing all that stuff or whatever.
Well, the only reason she really chooses it, remember, is because Teller tells her, I never seen your hair long like that. You cut it before we met. So that means you were your happiest when you were with him because your hair was long with him. And he basically said, I want you to go with him because that was when you were your happiest, and I just want you to be happy. And that made me, I was like, oh.
I know, I bawled too, because ultimately the plot point is they were like, well, why did you fall in love with her or whatever? And he can't find the answer. He doesn't know why. So he asks the neighbor, and I love the scene where Da'Vine Joy comes in and she's like, girl, let me tell you the drama or whatever between the two of them. It was so good. And I also love that they snuck in that Callum Turner was like, while I was waiting, I had sex with like women and like, oh, and I also tried it with one guy. Okay, I tried it with two guys or whatever. Like,
and then John Early gives him a little wink. And you're like,
yeah.
So no, two guys, and then John Early goes,
Initially, I was like, okay, now we're going to get set up for this whole like taboo things that you do in the afterlife that you shouldn't, right? When you think of like heaven or the pearly gates, you're not cursing, you're not sleeping with people, you're not slogging alcohol to like cope or whatever. So I eventually warmed up to that idea. I got into the fun of all of that, basically. But you're right. I cried when Teller was like, I just want you to be happy, so go. But then what she comes to realize is that when she's in this mountain world, she's like, you know what? Like, that was my life with him, you know? And we didn't grow old together, so I'm just learning about who you are.
She misses the bickering. She misses that. She misses the, the inside jokes and knowing who he is and being with someone. And they kind of bring that back to Early's character and Davine's character, right? Where they had a fling and they end up in the end because of what they saw them go through, trying it again. Because relationships really are more about friendship. Yes, you have to have some sexual fire, and yes, there's connections with, looks and hormones, but really it's about your best friend. It's about being with someone who knows you, who you feel comfortable with, who you want to just spend every bickering, loving, fun, silly, awful minute with.
Lets you be who you are.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But at some point, when she's in the mountain world and they keep going with that, and there's these little like scenarios of them adjusting and everything.
And he's so happy and he's meeting these friends and they're like,
but he's also not perfect. He has self-image issues and things like that. But at that point I was kind of like, what are we doing? There's going to be a second ending. And of course she chooses to break the rules basically and try to be with Miles. And what ends up happening is that Yet another rule that gets snuck in is there are these eternities that become outdated.
Like
And so
racist ones.
oh my God. Or my favorite that was discontinued, Clown World. Troy,
Yes.
do you want to be in Clown World for eternity? So what ends up happening is that like they decide to basically spirit them to this discontinued world.
Like a 50s world or something. I wish we
Yeah.
saw more of where, again, like you said, the TV show would be great because it kind of just ends with them going off into this new world. Homeboy is left.
Well, it was
in the
called
mountain
Simple World.
Oh,
It was called Simple World.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so basically it was like just old hometown values, suburban split levels, like that's where they end up dumping them. But the other plot device that I wanted to talk about is this: you're allowed to go to an archive show, which is essentially like this tunnel, like this museum, right? And what happens is you can ask for an individual ticket and you can review your own memories, kind of like a Disney ride or a museum.
Yes, that's so DIY. So cute.
And it's so cute. Like you see them standing there and there's like painted backgrounds that look like they're done by children or whatever, but it's this memory.
Yeah.
But it's that whole concept was so strong because like she's like, I don't want to see this. And then Miles Teller's like, no, you're not going to walk through the archives with me. And she's like, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? Or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But ultimately it's her going to this archive that makes her realize she misses Miles Teller.
Yeah.
And
that
so
whole
what I
bit reminds me of Michelle Gondry and some of the fun worlds he
absolutely,
created.
yes.
I love that.
But then I love that like Callum gets on board with it, right? But like I said, the reason why it would have been a good show too is that when she finally goes into the archives, because this is like the basement tunnel to go into the other place and try to find him, we see all of these like dark exhibits, I guess, that don't make the archive.
Dark
and so there's
memories.
like an abusive couple or this and that. And then the door that she goes through isn't a red door. It's like a white door, but there's these two odd people standing there like, we're sorry, they passed away in the war or whatever. I don't know. It was weird. So there's a lot that gets dropped on you. Yeah.
They were trying to make some kind of joke about how in the eternities we want to get rid of those negative memories and discard those so we can
right. So they're not in the archives.
Exactly.
But I also love it how Miles Teller, his character always has like this sharp like commentary about everything, which I also loved.
Yeah.
Because every scene ends on like this like snarky comment that he gives.
Just like an old grumpy grandpa. He always has to have his little last say.
Totally. But like he comments, he's like, why is everybody coming out crying? Like, why do you want to go in there? Like, I don't know. It was, yeah, as cute as it was, I really warmed up to it. It's adorable. It was really good. Really good.
And I saw a lot of parallels with Materialists because of the way who she picked and why and everything. It was, A24, just keep doing stuff like this.
This one at least is not like the romantic horror of Materialist. I'm just going to keep calling that from now. A24. The best romantic horror film ever. Watch Skip Plus. That needs to go on the Materialist poster.
Oh, good. I love Materialist. I think about it all the time. I've seen it a couple times.
I love it too. Since it hit streaming, I watched it again. The Pedro leg scene gets me every single fucking time.
I know.
When he's like,
he's kind of like the Callum character in this, right? You kind of feel for him, even though he's not picked, and you understand why he's not picked, but you just feel so bad.
You know what I think we could have done without, though? I think we could have done without them becoming pals. Like, I think it would have made it much stronger if
I think
they
it makes
didn't
sense
have...
because it shows her type that they.
Well, it totally makes sense, but I think the film would have had a sharper, like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. You got that sharp, useless look about you.
Mm-hmm.
It would have had a sharper, I think, bite to the screenplay with all its cuteness if they weren't friends. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, when they're in the mountain world and it's all just like hikes and watching stuff and sitting by the fire, I was
She
like,
wasn't into any of that.
do I
And-
really want that kind of eternity?
And none of it was her choice. You could kind of tell that she took the driver's seat in her relationship with Teller. And then as they got older, he was comfortable being in the back seat, letting her kind of lead and guide their life. And you could tell that's what he was. And he just wanted to be a comfort and a guide for her. And I don't feel like she felt like she could enough with this new relationship. She kept remembering that life. And how do you erase those 60-something years? I mean, how do you do it? You can't.
There's some really good scenes where they are, in fact, discussing that.
Yeah.
And I loved it when he and Teller fight, and it's the most ridiculous fucking fight ever.
And then they're on the ground,
But, you know,
spattering.
But you know what? I think what's really clever about the screenplay is that that's almost a generational fight kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like
Old
Teller
people
has
trying to
seen
fight.
movies versus him in the war. We didn't do fisticuffs like that, really, right? So I love that the writing is sharp enough to say that.
Yeah.
But also some of the writing is a little on the nose. So in the beginning, they're driving to this gender reveal party. Again, I think it's hysterical that they trot out this people die at these things. Like, don't look at the thing when it explodes or whatever. I'm like, this is hysterical. But when they're driving, he's going like 20 miles an hour and traffic is backing up. And so that's the visual
overtly
metaphor
cautious
of how you get, but how you get stuck in a marriage.
Yeah, true.
Right. And so, you know, you're not keeping up to speed with traffic. So some of this is a little too on the nose, but it is very enjoyable. It's a cute romp.
The pretzel jokes throughout were really funny. You know, he kept wanting pretzels. That's what he choked on and died. And she's like, what are you eating those for?
Yes. But I'm telling you, immediately I was like, no, you need to choose Miles Teller. You need to choose Miles Teller.
During the holidays, take your mom and your pop, your grandma and grandpa from the homes. Take them to see this. Take all of your older loved ones.
So
you need to go see this. It will remind them of the stuff they saw when they were younger, that they loved and fell in love with in the 60s and 70s. It really is fun and clever and cute. Go see this.
Can I tell you, though, at my screening, one young couple in their 30s, everyone else 50 or over.
Same. Yeah, it was mostly in my theater. The whole back part was full, which I loved. I was very happy about that. So it was me and a couple other single folks, me and mainly single ladies, and then older folks, 50 and plus, and in relationships. There's like a gay couple.
The single ladies. The single ladies.
Many couples, and then me and like two other single ladies, and we were just doing a thing.
Okay, so watches for both of us. We loved Eternity,
and it is a cute movie. God, a cute, clever, sweet. I mean, tender, maybe even schmaltzy. But it's just you just need to go see it. We support these kind of things in the theater. We say that over and over again.
Yeah, catch it before it inevitably drops on streaming next week. All right, so don't forget, folks. Please leave a comment. Let the community keep growing and flowing, and make sure you hit subscribe on YouTube, especially.
Yes.
We're at, what, 51, 52?
Yeah, we went up.
subscriptions
We went
now?
up a few.
We went up. This is good. We're trying to reach 200.
And everyone out there, besides
month,
just
folks.
Jared, if everybody could post and comment, the more you comment on our actual videos, the more it gets in the algorithms, helps get us out there. And in this year, we've seen our viewership, double almost. So it's been fun seeing it happen.
It's been good. If you love us, you'll certainly love our Podfathers, Gentleman's Guide to Midnight Cinema and Not a Bomb. Also, the OG's Night of the Living podcast, 20 years. Jesus. Keeping going. Wild Dream Podcasts, who we mentioned, Daniel and David. Death by DVD, Raiders of the Podcast, Backlook Cinema Podcast with Zoe. Our YouTube brothers, the Two Johns, and now for something a little bit different, Caliber 9 from Outer Space. Rob, we are coming for you. We are definitely going to guest. Feminine Critique, Talk Without Rhythm with Goro. Mike, any parting thoughts?
No, just wanted to let people know really quickly that, yes, we are taking a break. Next week, we will be bringing you Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and then we're going to finish off with Dust Bunny with Dave Gray from Raiders. Thanks, Dave, for shouting us out and not really giving a review on the show. He kind of said he was holding that out for us. And then we'll take a few weeks off, and then we'll come back in January with another horror movie, not Wolfman, but Primate in January.
Primate.
So, and then we'll be joined right after that with our buddy Rob. He's going to join us for the Bone Temple. So there's what's coming up with us. Do not worry when we're gone for those 3 weeks. We will be back.
Yes. And you know what? Damn the algorithm. We are taking a break. So at any rate, as always, folks, be kind, be open, be vulnerable. That's where the art is. And we will see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
I'm excited about Dust Bunny, Brian Fuller's first film. Love Brian Fuller. Hannibal is my jam. That is my favorite television show ever. Next to Buffy and Alias and Veronica Mars.
Yeah. I'm expecting pretty fun things.
Should be fun.